Congratulations on the purchase of your E-flite Blade CX2. Soon you'll be able to enjoy the fun and excitement of flying your very own RC micro helicopter, even if you've never flown one before. This video CD will walk you through some of the pre-flight steps illustrated in the manual. It is not intended as a replacement for the manual, so please read it thoroughly before you fly. Before you start, you'll need to install 4 AA batteries in the transmitter and charge the included 800 mAh LiPo battery pack using the special DC charger provided. It's important that you only charge the Blade CX2 battery pack with the LiPo charger provided. Your battery pack is equipped with special safety circuitry that is only compatible with this charger. Attempting to charge the pack using any other charger could result in serious damage. Please familiarize yourself thoroughly with the charging instructions and safety information outlined in the manual before you charge the battery pack. To begin charging, connect the charger to any 12-volt DC power source or use the included AC power supply that allows you to use the Blade CX2 charger anywhere a wall outlet is available. Once you have connected the charger to a power source, its red LED will blink to indicate the charger has power and is ready to begin charging. Connect the Blade CX2's LiPo battery pack using the specially marked Balance Charge lead. When the battery is properly connected and charging normally, the red and green LED indicators will shine steadily. The first charge will take about 1 hour. When the battery is fully charged, the green LED will go out. If there's a problem during the charge process, both of the charger's LEDs will flash. This may occur if you over-discharge a battery pack by flying too long. If, after several charging attempts, you continue to get this warning, you should replace the battery pack with a new one. Before installing the battery pack, you'll need to apply the hook and loop material that holds it in place in the Blade CX2. You can then install the battery using the opening in the back of the body, but do not connect it yet. Once the battery is installed, turn on the transmitter with the throttle stick and throttle trim lever in the lowest positions. Connect the battery pack to the 4-in-1 control unit. The flashing LED indicator on the 4-in-1 unit will go solid green when the arming and initialization process is complete. If you do not get a solid green indication with the transmitter on and the throttle and throttle trim in the lowest position, disconnect the battery and consult the manual. Before your first flight, you'll need to test the controls to make sure they respond properly. First, unplug the motors, being careful to note the polarity and location of the connectors for when you reinstall them. Using the manual as a reference, test the aileron and elevator controls by moving the right control stick. Once you've confirmed the control responses are correct according to the manual, reconnect the motors. To test for proper motor response, gradually add throttle, just until the blades start spinning. Both rotor blades should spin without any rudder input. While the throttle is at low power, move the rudder all the way to the right. This should cause the upper rotor to spin faster. Moving the rudder all the way to the left at low power should cause the lower rotor to spin faster. After you've tested the controls and confirmed the motors are responding correctly, you're ready to fly. For your first flight, you'll want to select a large open area that is free of people and obstructions. We recommend an indoor area with at least 20 feet by 20 feet of floor space and at least 8-foot-high ceilings. If you have to take your first flight outside, pick a time when wind conditions are completely calm. The Blade CX2 was designed to provide best performance in zero wind conditions. Even a slight breeze will make mastering the basics difficult. For your first takeoff, slowly advance the throttle stick until the Blade CX2 is hovering just a few inches off the floor. As you will see, the Blade CX2 requires very small throttle adjustments to maintain its position in a hover. Making throttle adjustments too quickly could cause you to lose control when you first start flying. With the helicopter established in a low-level hover, check to see if any trim adjustments are needed. If the aircraft drifts in any direction without control input, you'll need to land and make trim adjustments in the opposite direction of the drift until the drifting stops. If the aircraft is drifting sideways, you'll need to adjust the aileron trim under the right control stick. If you find yourself drifting forward or backward, you'll need to adjust the elevator trim beside the right control stick. If the nose drifts to the left or the right, adjust the rudder trim under the left control stick. Do not try to make these trim adjustments in the air during your first few flights. Always land and make small trim corrections until you can hover at low level with little or no drifting. With the Blade CX2 trimmed for a stable hover at low level, practice using the elevator, rudder, and aileron controls to get a feel for how the heli responds. If at any time you feel like you may be drifting into an obstacle, pull the throttle all the way off. A slightly rough landing is much better than allowing the helicopter blades to impact a person or object. To make your first flights even easier, we recommend you use E-flite's optional Blade CX2 training gear. The training gear provides even more stability and will help prevent blade strikes while you're learning. After you become comfortable flying the Blade CX2 at low level, you can transition to a higher 3 to 4 foot hover and practice the same maneuvers that you did at low level to get a feel for how the helicopter behaves out of ground effect. If you ever feel like you are drifting out of control, simply release the right stick. If you have properly trimmed the heli, the inherent stability of the coaxial counter-rotating blades will stop the drift on its own. After you've gained experience flying the Blade CX2 at higher levels, you can try your hand at some advanced maneuvers, like pirouettes, spot landings, forward flight, and backwards flight. You can even fly with fellow Blade CX2 pilots. But your fun doesn't stop there. When it's time to take the next step up from the Blade CX2, there's the E-flite Blade CP. Like the Blade CX2, the Blade CP is a completely ready-to-fly micro-heli that includes a transmitter, battery pack, and AC charger. But because it uses a conventional single main rotor and tail rotor design, it can fly faster and perform much more aggressive maneuvers. After you've mastered the Blade CP, you can try your hand at aerobatics with the Blade CP Pro. The Pro comes ready to fly with features normally found on more expensive micro-heli kits you would have to build. Features such as the lightweight power of a 3-cell 800 milliamp LiPo battery pack, the lightning-quick cyclic response of CCPM and Bell-Hiller mixing, and the agility of symmetrical main rotor blades. Plus, it can easily be outfitted with brushless power and a heading lock gyro without the need for a new radio system or difficult modifications. For red-hot micro-heli aerobatics in about the time it takes for you to charge a battery pack, nothing can touch the cutting-edge Blade CP Pro. We hope you enjoy flying the Blade CX2. While this video has covered a few of the pre-flight and flying basics, please be sure to read the manual completely before flying. This will help ensure you have a successful and rewarding first flight experience that will prepare you for even more flying fun in the future. To learn more about the Blade CX2, Blade CP, and Blade CP Pro, visit us online at www.e-fliterc.com.